When I was a kid, like the smell of gas used to not bother me, so I'd be like, oh, it smells pretty good.
Dude, when I go to a gas station, let me tell you, so I like smelling that shit, but like
Yeah.
I know it's fucking with my brain, but it's fine because, you know, I have plenty of brain cells to spare.
So what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Inside the Lines. My guest this week is Rejeneration, local artists here in the DC, Baltimore area. So we're chatting a little bit just a second ago, so again, tell me about the name.
My name, so Rejeneration, comes from, I used to be a fan, I still am, I don't know why I say used to, of this jam band called STS9, and back in the day they had a festival called Rejeneration, with a G, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I love them so much, and I went to that festival when I was younger, probably in high school, I think it was, 2007 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been my Instagram handle forever. And,
Okay.
So when I started recording my music and everything, you know, I was like, I need to come up with a stage name. And I was like, what can I do?
Yeah.
And my Instagram handle was already Rejeneration, and it kind of made sense from the point of view that it's a play on words, which I do a lot in my songs.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of, you know, double entendres and wordplay and stuff like that. And also, you know, I like to think that you know, regenerating some of the...
If any of these pop out to you, just...
Okay.
I was going to say,
I
we'll
don't
do
know,
that
that
too.
dinosaur looks pretty...
I was itching the last time to do the dinosaur,
Is
but
there a cat?
we can keep going.
I love cats. Oh my god!
There
okay.
is. That you want to
You
do that
guys,
one?
This one looks like a person I knew in kindergarten.
You knew a person? Well, which one? Which character?
Braces.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what person looked like a cat with a? Well, they all have the
They had
unicorns.
headgear though.
Okay.
So that's kind of like in between, I feel.
Okay. So you want to
do
use?
this.
Okay, you want to do this
I'll
one?
do the
Cool.
cat.
Awesome.
Alright.
Awesome.
So where was I?
You're talking about the name, how it was already your Instagram handle.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it was already my handle, and you know, I use a lot of wordplay and stuff in my lyrics, and so I thought it would be an interesting, cool name to have, just with a J.
Okay.
You know, like regenerate the greats, you know what I mean? And I like to bring back a lot of those aspects of hip hop that I feel were kind of lost now, like a lot of the lyrical capabilities of people, and because today, you know, it's all about the beat.
Yeah.
It's kind of less about the words. And like, you know, I still think it's about the words, because when people hear my stuff anyway, they're like, oh shit, like, you know, that's like I fuck with that. And you know, my beats, I'm picky about my beats too. Like, I won't just choose any beat. I'm really, really picky about it, and you can ask anyone I know. Like, people send me beats all the time and I turn them down. I'm really a perfectionist, so. But yeah, like, it's a lot of it is about the lyrics for me, and I think my name kind of like sums that up pretty good.
Yeah. So this is I'll start with kind of a big question here.
Okay.
Is it a lot harder being a female artist?
Well, okay, so I get this question a lot, and radio stations have asked me this too. And it's not just being a female, it's also what I look like as well. It is. I think it's all about the mindset you have. Like, if you're a female and you go into it and you give off the vibe that you're easy to take advantage of and stuff like that, people will do it. But I'm very professional with what I do. I go in and I'm all business. You know, if you're not gonna like be on a business level with me, then I'm not gonna work with you.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I haven't run into a lot of sketchy people trying to take advantage of me. I have run into like, hey, I want to work with you, and then all they were trying to do was holler.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does that happen a lot, where it's just like people just trying to like use that as a way to get a pass on you or something like that?
Yeah, it doesn't happen as much as one would think though, mainly because, you know, it's all about how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you carry yourself a certain way, people are more likely to take advantage of that. But it has happened, for sure. I won't name any names because it's not important, but
yeah.
It's happened. I feel like a lot of the people here in the Baltimore and DC scene, and I come from Atlanta, okay? So Atlanta is like the hip hop capital of the nation, blah, blah, blah. But it's also very much not community oriented down there because it is so big and because there's a lot of major artists that are already there. It's kind of, you know, saturated. Here, I feel it's more of a sense of community with, you know, the hip hop industry here because it's so tight knit.
Yeah.
And everyone here is more willing to work with you and, you know, collaborate and just is more eager to, they're more open-minded. That's a good word for it.
Yeah.
Atlanta's not very open-minded when it comes to that kind of thing. So that's the reason when I moved up here, I started recording because down there it was so hard to get my foot in the door, especially as a female in Atlanta. So basically all I was doing down there was writing, and I had all my lyrics and stuff. And when I came up here, it's funny how it happened because I met this guy named Mike, and I don't know if he runs Soundstage or if he's a manager there or something, but he was a friend I met through the jam scene up here, and he actually hooked me up with Lineup Room Studio.
Oh,
Brandon,
cool. Yeah.
I knew him. So that's how, you know, I got my foot in the door, and I feel like it's easier up here to do that just because everyone knows everyone and they're more, you know, just open-minded in general. I mean, I just do it because I feel like I have a lot to say, and hopefully people will fuck with it. If not, it's cool. Just don't bother me if you hate me. I haven't gotten a lot of hate though, which is surprising, you know?
That's good.
And that's another thing about up here versus Atlanta. Like down there, everyone hates. Everyone's a hater, freaking, because it's Atlanta. And
well, okay, so let me ask you about Atlanta, because I have my own personal connection with Atlanta.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so I was actually, my ex-fiance was from Georgia, and
personal now.
so there was a lot of she was the opposite. She hated Baltimore but loved Atlanta and just spoke very highly of Atlanta. So it's interesting to me that you're coming at it. So yeah, what is it like? Is it just?
It's the mindset of the southern area of this country.
Yeah, because I'm trying to just, you know, this is off the cuff of the interview. This is my own personal healing that we're doing right now.
Okay.
Because that's why I'm asking
is this
about.
Off the record?
No, this isn't off the record at all. No, I'm putting it out there for people. I'm just curious because I think it's interesting that from one perspective to another, it's you know the exact opposite.
Right. So, are you asking me about what's my perspective of Atlanta?
Yeah, so yeah, tell me about your experiences with Atlanta, I guess, like, and what kind of led you up here?
Well, I grew up down there. I was born up here, actually, which is funny, because I was born in D.C., grew up in Northern Virginia until I was about 6 or 7, and then my mom moved us to Atlanta, a suburb of Atlanta.
Okay.
I lived in Atlanta, you know, from college age up, but, I guess, like, I don't know, like, just, it's the mindset of people down there. It's just, like, it's still very, like, you know, and I'm not going to talk politics, but it's still very close-minded.
Yeah.
It's still very much, like, oh, my God, like, you know what I mean? Like, if people down there see, like, you know, a freaking, I don't want to offend people. If this is offensive, cut it out. But if people down there see like an interracial couple, they'll just stare and they'll be like, ew, gross. You know what I mean? But up here, it's not like that. And like, there's a lot more of that up here without judgment.
Yeah.
And I feel like people like to think that the South is not like that anymore, but it fucking is. I mean, you can think that all you want, but deep down inside, it's kind of like saying, oh no, like, I like carrot cake, and then, you know, you eat it and you gag. Like, that's kind of the same concept, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like low-key, like, closed-mindedness.
Yeah.
And I just don't fuck with that. So what brought me back up here was, ironically, a job.
Okay.
And my dad lives up here still, so I moved back up, and that's when I actually started recording. But yeah, it's much more open-minded up here. It's much more like chill with, you know, certain things. Obviously, we live by DC, which, you know, is the place where he who shall not be named is.
For the time being, anyway.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully that's almost over.
Yeah, but people are always like, oh man, you live in DC, like, it must suck to live by the government. But honestly, you don't even know it because it's only one area.
Yeah, it is.
And like,
exactly.
The rest of DC is like popping, dude. Like, DC is lit. Like, I go there for brunch and happy hour a lot. I go there, you know,
oh, it's got some great spots for that.
Yeah, it's got some dope spots. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather live by the government than in Atlanta. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've only been there in passing a few times, and like it was cool, but I was only skin deep with it, you know. I never really like lived there. Yeah, I
There's
mean,
not shit to do.
I know, like, I went to a few museums there and stuff, but yeah, as far as like doing stuff in the city itself, yeah, there really wasn't a whole ton to like.
As far as culture, there's none. Maybe like 5%.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
Even a city as big as Atlanta, it's diverse and stuff, but the culture is just not there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what culture can you have in a southern city that really never had any culture to begin with? I'm gonna offend so many people from Atlanta.
We just popped up the shade.
Mic
The
drop,
shade
bitch,
is
like
up.
truth bomb.
The shade is up.
I'm just saying,
What are some like goals for you for the next few years? Like, what are your hopes?
I mean, so I guess my ultimate goal is just to have more people, new people, hearing my music.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I want to get stuff out there that people need to hear, and
Yeah.
I want people to start critically thinking again.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean. And I think my music, a lot of my songs can make that happen. Like, people will hear it and they'll be like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, she's right.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to reevaluate some things. Because I've kind of always been like that, even in my poetry I wrote before I started writing actual songs.
Mm-hmm.
It was also very, socially conscious and politically conscious stuff. My first poem I ever wrote was called The Great Machine, and it was, an anti-government poem.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically saying, pretty much everything they do. It's very similar to my song Puppets, but it's also nothing like it because every word was different. But I wish I could remember some of the verses in it, but it was basically just talking about how, like, every stanza, I guess, is that what you call poem shit?
Yeah,
I don't
something like
know.
that.
I'm a writer, not a vocab professor in poetry.
I was gonna say that is over my head as well.
Yeah, but every stanza or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of ended with, one of them ended with "Welcome to the Great Machine." You're like part of the great machine, and then you can't escape the great machine. It was kind of like a story in a story. Like, it had gradual steps to it, and basically I was just talking about how, from beginning to end, how the government entraps people,
Mm-hmm.
which they do, and yeah, that's kind of where the song Puppets came from, but it's written completely different. And I write all my songs from scratch. I know people like to say that females have their songs written for them and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but especially if you're underground, you don't really have people writing for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of the mainstream artists that have co-writers and stuff. And I don't like the term ghostwriter, just because it's not as common as people think. Co-writers are common.
Yeah.
You'll have a co-writer on a song, and maybe they'll write the chorus, or maybe they'll write the hook for you. I've written some things with local artists, and, I've written some things for regional artists. I'm a writer first and foremost. So, like, when you said goals and stuff, I guess my number one goal would be to be a professional songwriter, because I'm not a performer. I do perform. I'm not a performer. I get so much anxiety from it, and like I go on stage and I like can't breathe, and like it's really hard. So
Really? So there's not that, like, it's not the opposite. It's not really that, like, rush
I don't
of.
get an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I do. It's just a different kind.
Yeah.
It's like more.
It gravitates towards the anxiety region.
Right. So like and. But I have to do that to get my stuff out there. You know what I mean? So, and that's fine. Like, I'll do it. I just performed at Soundstage with an
I saw
artist,
that.
Yeah,
Congrats.
an artist called Maryland's Finest. Wisdom Court Entertainment actually put that on. Mad props to them. Wisdom Court in Baltimore. Billy Live actually heads up the collective, and he does really good things in the community. He actually mentors kids too and everything, and
Nice.
he helps local artists get a platform, for visibility. So he's a really cool dude if you ever want to look him up.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, other than that, I think my ultimate goal is to just be a professional songwriter, because I am more of a wordsmith than a performer. I think they're two different things completely. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like, someone's either an epic performer, or vice versa.
So if the dream was set, you're just doing this full time and everything, like what are some places you'd like to perform, or things you'd like to do with your music further?
I I don't know. Well, like I said, I'm not a performer.
Yeah.
But I would like to, you know, go to other countries and perform, especially like, so one of the countries that streams my music a lot is the UK.
Oh,
which
cool.
They actually love American hip hop. I don't know why, but they do. And outside the US, they're the other country that streams like that's where thousands of my plays come from. And I'd love to perform like in London or somewhere over there one day.
Well, before we kind of finish up a little bit here, is there any other like one-off thoughts or anything you want to talk about before we kind of wrap up?
Do your research. If you're in the industry, please, like I beg you. You know, the whole point of my music is just for people to start being aware of things and be aware of what policies are taking place, be aware of like social issues, and you know, like if you're an artist who has a big following, don't let a label tell you you can't do something.
Yeah.
Like, because the label is not the one making you money, it's the people listening. And the people listening to you will fuck with real shit. They will. So that's my last thought.
Okay. And where can people find you on the socials?
Instagram, Rejeneration DC with a J. Facebook is Rejeneration Music. And you can find me on Spotify, Apple, Tidal, all the platforms, just Rejeneration.
All right, and that's Rejeneration.
Yes.
Yes. Just spelling it out, making sure everybody knows.
You did a good job.
I try.
Spelling bee around here.
I try.
Shoot and roll.
So the last thing, as always, before we finish up, is wanted to gift you our POG
Oh my God!
for this interview. So this is for you.
Yeah, I feel
And
like
then,
it's 1995.
Right? It is, kinda. And then this nice Two Tony Productions pin
Oh hell yeah!
for you
That's
as
sick.
well.
Thank you guys.
So again, thank you for coming on the show. There's a lot of knowledge that you spit out. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.